Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to Star Ocean.
So when last we left off, we had been getting our butt kicked by Freya. Now, we've got 2.2 million full right now. And I'm wondering if I want to if I want to basically invest some of that into pumping up Maria's stats a bit. But before I do that, I am going to make a couple more attempts on this boss. I'm going to try to play a super defensive play. I know that the boss is able to hit me from a really, really long way away with her most powerful attack. I know that it basically has been one-shotting me, but that said, I can actually stack some defensive buffs on myself and hopefully be able to keep myself alive. If I can survive that move, then I should be okay. So we've got that on. We're going to go ahead and use protection on ourselves. That's probably going to hit me. And it did, and I got insta-gibbed.
Are you so foolish?
And interestingly enough, through the protection, no, that insta-gibbed as well. Somehow. I didn't see how that happened. I'm a little confused because I'm pretty sure did I cast it on the wrong part? I must have cast it on Peeta accidentally. Whoopsie doopsie. But did we have protection active on Maria? I think we did. So we're going to need to get ourselves a little bit tankier if we're going to want to survive this. Part of, you know... Oh god, why do I only have a head?
You don't really want to mess with
On the negative side, this is going to be relatively far away. But I guess on the plus, I think there's a more shot in the mountain range, so I guess I could just
This'll be fun.
use that, but there's no save point next to it. Which means that, you know, I'm doing a huge gamble with my money. So let's see here. Need to figure out how I'm going to handle this. But basically, I need to have a little bit more, whatchamacallit? I needed a little bit more survivability. Now, most of the guides suggest that you be level 265 to fight this boss, and I don't think that I have a terribly optimal setup because I don't really have Pepita set up in a way that is necessarily utilizing her appropriately. She doesn't really have the damage output that she needs to sort of justify her slot right now, but at the same time, I'm not really willing to invest the time and energy into bringing up another party member. So we're going to use Pepita, and if I wanted, I could try controlling her. The problem is that, I mean, Ezreal Strike or Ezreal Blast or whatever it is she's using is just going to blow me up. It lasts too long, I believe, for me to defend against it. And I could be wrong on that. I think that there might be an actual combo that you can do that gives you enough iframes on her to actually negate the damage from that. But I'm definitely not good enough at this game to consistently be able to pull something like that off. So, so Pepita is almost definitely just going to get blown apart in the first few seconds of the fight, unfortunately. Particularly because she has to be fighting up close to actually do her job. So, because of the fact that I don't have Sophia in the party, I don't have the ability to revive. Now, obviously, if I was playing normally, you know, like every other person in the world, I could just use consumables to fix that problem. but I mean, playing like a normal human being sounds like a very dull way to do just about anything, so I'm not going to do that. I don't think that we'll need to. I'm pretty sure that we can basically get ourselves to the point where we can finagle a win out with our current stuff. Is there a... I don't remember whether there's a thing here, but... So anyway, so my goal right now is, I've already got Nell kind of maxed out. I can't increase her defense any higher, as far as I can tell. I don't believe so, but I don't need to. I can just cast Protect on her, and if I cast Protect on her, then she'll have over 5,000 defense, which means that she won't take any damage from the boss. And I must have miscast it. I must have cast it on Pepita accidentally, or something like that. Because she shouldn't have died to that if she was using her normal stuff. One of the issues is that defense is kind of all or nothing to an extent in this, because it's a game where skill matters a lot. Like, if you're skilled enough at the game, then you can just not get hit by these bosses, right? You can conceivably deal with them. Now, some of it requires the use of consumables and stuff like that. So, as an example, the only way to get out of these ether strikes, if you're close to the boss, is to actually stun the boss out of them, right? And there are items that can guarantee a stun, so you can just spam those. You can juggle the boss indefinitely if you have the skill and the opportunity. Not the opportunity, but you have the appropriate characters to do so. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do like that. But none of that is going to be stuff that I'm doing. So we're going to try to get at least a couple more of these. One of my goals here is basically to get it to the point where I can survive that ethereal blast if I'm on the opposite end of the world. Because I was pretty damn far away from that, but it was still hitting me. And I need to get her to the point that she can survive at least one of those. And I think we'll be able to do that. And if my voice sounds weird, it's because I just got back from downstairs and I am pacing around, so when you get to be as old as me, pacing is an extremely strenuous activity and results in you getting, losing your breath. So, old men. So, anyway, let's see. So we're going to try to get a couple of Boots of Prowess done. That should help us a little bit. I'd like to get more than a couple, but I'm probably not going to be able to on my current finances. I was thinking that... Thanks, Mole. Oh shit, now I lost track of where I was going. I was thinking that I might be able to sort of finagle this without doing a lot of the post-game like maximization, because like I have one character who's appropriately maximized right now, which is not necessarily optimal. You tend to, well, and she's not even maximized because she's not even level 200 yet. She's like 198 or something. So you get the idea that this game was actually pretty tightly balanced, I feel, in terms of if you don't have the whatchamacallit, if you don't have the right stuff, it's very difficult. You can overwhelm Galaxy difficulty, right? There's no part of the normal difficulty setting that you can't overwhelm just by having, like, gotten the correct stats in advance. But once you get past Galaxy difficulty, that ceases to be a thing. You cease to be able to actually completely negate the damage output of enemies and things like that just by gearing appropriately and doing that stuff. So on the higher difficulties, you actually have to get good enough at the game that you can just dodge all this shit. Unfortunately, particularly when I'm live, I don't want to practice quite that much. Not for this kind of game. Because for me, this is more of like a casual action game as opposed to something that, you know, I want to invest a huge amount of energy into. I can understand people who do, because it's a really good game, and I think it's incredibly awesome to think of the idea of being able to get good enough at this game that it's like, oh yeah, whatever, it's just Freya. Just dodge all of her attacks and kill her with everything. But that's not, I don't think, ever going to be, that's not ever going to be me, because I don't devote enough time into any given game to get that good at it. But we should be able to beat her nonetheless. And hopefully I'll be able to make these boots. And I'm feeling like I already don't have a huge amount of utility for these boots. So I think I'm gonna stop trying on this. I'm gonna try one more attempt. Am I? No. First we're going to actually synth this stuff, so I'm gonna get a couple more effects onto Dia Maria here. So we're going to synthesize the Dragoon laser. Okay, so one of the things that we need for her is we actually do need to have -3 Fury use on her at all times. So we are going to slap this effect onto her. Do I want to do that? Actually, no, I don't. Not quite yet. Yes, I do. Yeah. So, with the -3 Fury use synthed onto here, her ability to just chain damage together will be substantially better. And that's good and useful, theoretically. Unfortunately, one of the things that I am missing is I don't have, and I probably should have at some point Googled this, but I do not actually have the thing that I need in order to, I don't have one of her long-range skills that is supposedly badass and awesome. So since I don't have that, it makes it harder for me to do damage, because my long-range damage is actually relatively weak. I guess I could try just putting Scatter Beam on everything, but I feel like that's not... I feel like at long range, Scatter Beam on such a small target is not going to actually do much. So if she was like a dragon or something, then sure, but she's not big enough to justify that. So here's the question. How much do we have here? We've got 1900 defense. We've got 2 more effects that we can add on to this if we so please. We've currently got a Tri-Emblem equipped. I don't think I'm going to be able to get her defense to the point where she can actually meaningfully contribute to the fight. Let's see, if I've got 30% defense, I would need a very substantial increase to get this shit done. So if I wanted to get her up to the appropriate amount of defense as well, it would be really hard. I'm actually curious how hard it would be, for instance, to get him up there. Because we have access to the Valiant Mail, which has 380 paired with defense plus 20, so if we made 8 of that, that's 160 extra, so that is 540 defense, which isn't really that impressive. So it really is, to a large degree, based off of his base stats, and his base stats are going to be terrible if he's level 45. Level 45 character isn't going to be doing the job that I need him to do. So, with that said, what are my options here? I think that this victory trophy is a good thing to have. I do actually need right now to have this effect on. So, what can I do? Because one of the things that I have to bear in mind when I'm playing this game is that when people talk about their builds and things like that, a lot of it, and by a lot of it I mean all of it, is based off of the ability to use items. So if you can't use items, a lot of stuff kind of falls apart because you're not using any of the things that would allow you to exploit certain stuff. Because you're basically having to be able to just do it straight. And it's substantially harder than you'd expect. So we will have to think about it. I feel like this is an interesting game because it simultaneously is a game where I think consumables are much more like I hesitate to say vital, but they have the potential to make a huge impact. But at the same time, by the way, these Magic Plus berries are ludicrously good. But at the same time, I don't think that they're actually strictly necessary because you have such a high skill cap in the game compared to, like, you know, most RPGs, the skill cap is practically non-existent, right? Like, you just have to have a basic understanding. You just need to make the correct decision on every turn, and you've reached the skill cap. With this, because of the action component, you have a lot of things going on at once, and you have a much, much higher skill cap. So while you can do a lot of crazy stuff with consumables, and they are very, very powerful, they're not the be-all, end-all. Even though things are pretty tightly tuned, and you've got, you're going to have difficulty without them. You know, unless you're actually good at the game, and then you just say, oh, well, what if I just use Fate and Maria, and I just keep the thing juggled forever? Or if I use Fate and I think Pepita, and just keep the thing juggled forever. Because it's like as soon as you juggle it once, as soon as you get it up in the air, you can just keep juggling it forever. It's like, oh, cool. I actually saw a video of someone doing that. It was so cool to look at. Because you have to control both characters manually, and the specifics of the motion are super, like, complicated. But it's such a well-oiled, like, well-practiced maneuver that it's just very delightful to, you know, watch someone implement it, because it's just like, oh, you're keeping this boss in the air forever. There's no reason for this boss to ever hit the ground. If you do it this way, then the boss will never hit the ground. And it's totally awesome and badass, and I heartily approve. But if you fuck it up, then the boss hits the ground, and then you have to set the whole thing up again. But alright, so we're gonna continue on. But yeah, once we finish this boss, we will be done. There's nothing else in this game. But I do have some good news, is that even if I do have to end early, in terms of I run out of things to do, I am intending, once I finish this game, I'm going to take a break for either breakfast or lunch. Let's be optimistic and say breakfast. And once I do that, I will be starting up Star Ocean 4 today, because today is going to be a long stream day. I probably will do a pretty long stream, or I might not. I might fall asleep, because, you know, I live to disappoint people. You know, I didn't actually sleep last night. I didn't do anything productive, like do research like a sensible human being, but I didn't get any sleep either, so... But I don't feel tired right now, but I might end up feeling tired after I finish. Depends on how mentally strenuous this fight ends up being. So anyway, I could, if I wanted, I have... How many more slots? I have 2 more slots on here, and I could drop one of these items, preferably like the tri-emblem, for a little bit of extra. I'm actually curious. I think that this might be overkill. I'm going to drop this in favor of giving it to her, and I'm going to give the properly built up Dragon Leather. So that drops her defense by 300, and that might be too much of a drop. I could do the math, and I think, based off of my head math, that it's a very, very close thing. So it's possible that the damage output won't be substantial enough to kill, even if it is greater than 0. But the problem with that is, does she have a no-guard setup? No. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to give her critical hit HP. And we will see. Oh, the other thing that I should do, because this is sensible, is let's turn off Berserk for her, because I'm not actually using her to deal damage right now. So, like, that just makes sense. And does that affect her status on the world map? Yes, it does. So I can actually see her defense right now. So her defense is 2114, which is not good, but isn't as bad as it could be. So hopefully this will allow her to survive with a protect. I do find it incredibly hilarious that it's like a chibi version of Freya. And it's the other thing that's kind of interesting about it. That is now... Oh god. Wow. Well. Okay, protection is out. So now we can cast protection ourselves. Okay, so the other thing that I should have done at some point that I have not. That is a lot of damage, actually. Why are you backing away? No. Don't come this way. God damn it, no. Not like bringing the boss straight at me. Like, you want to die, right? That's one of your things you want. So we're gonna recast protection. And one nice thing is that we can cast this kind of shit from the world away. We'll go ahead and cast Reflection on her. Yeah, one of the items that I could pick up, which would make my life a lot easier. God damn it. But one of the things that I could pick up to make my life easier is, that other thing. So Ether Strike's coming out. I'm just going to stand over here and I'm going to hope that... Okay, that does not affect the whole world, but it affects most of it. That's actually such an enormous area of effect that If she was just a little bit further in this direction, I'm pretty sure that it would have hit me all the way in this corner. But as long as we can keep Maria alive. So other strike is coming out again. And we're just dealing, you know, mirror slice damage in the middle of this effect. Okay, cast an angel feather on her. It would be really nice if there was a visual effect for all of these spells so that I could tell when they were running out. Because having to just kind of guess is suboptimal. Extremely compelling gameplay. So this is the safest way to handle a boss like this, is just make someone invulnerable and then rely on them to get the job done. So hopefully we'll be able to continue doing that. I love how I can't even hear the fight. I'm so far away from the fight that I can't hear her shout her catchphrases. I can't hear the actual fight. I just hear the music. And that makes me very amused. I'm actually gonna cast healing on her. She is slightly injured. The stone ring is coming out. Okay, it's 3 hits. Now I'm gonna heal. Right as the last tick, so there we go. So 3 hits is the number to beat. Well, not to beat, but 3 hits is the number to hit that on. But yeah, there seems to be like multiple different areas of effect for that have different degrees of sort of importance. But I think this is going to go fine. Okay, just got a lightning strike coming out here, which is scary, but not really a big deal. And as long as she keeps her in that corner, I'm actually a happy camper. Because that corner, I'm safe. So I should be able to actually take out the boss here. And by I should be able to take out the boss, I mean Nell should be able to just solo the boss. And what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to set her to manual. Because I figure that I can do a slightly better job here than the AI is doing, getting the DPS out.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike Here goes nothing! Here! Shockwave! Withstand this!
The only problem with doing that is the concern that I'm going to be a dope and forget to recast some shit. Yeah, the AI does not do damage very effectively. So
Withstand this! Shockwave! Mirror strike!
Casting protection first. We actually interrupted the spell, luckily. And we are now gonna dump a heal.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike power! I shall purify you! Shockwave! Behold my godlike power! Withstand
That was incredibly bizarre. Not sure what was going on there. Yeah, I do wish that I knew how long this was.
I shall purify you!
It'd be really nice if I could set hotkeys to this stuff.
To done with you! Not that!
I'm actually very curious what like percent this boss is at now. I'm a little concerned about how close the boss is getting.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike
Luckily, I can control that. So, we should be able to get this done eventually. She has like 10 million HP or something like that, so... God damn it. No, 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 no. Fuck. She's in the dead center. I need to cast. I need to. I need to get a hand up there. Everything I need to do. Get this on her. And just drag her across the room again.
Withstand this! Withstand this!
So, Ubernell is doing her job. And we can... Up. And we got a stone ring coming down here, which is fine.
Withstand
So we actually managed to interrupt that. Good. But yeah, you can
To dust with you. Not bad.
pretty effectively chain interrupt her business. And that doesn't really do enough damage to justify concern. If I actually had,
Behold my godlike power and their strength! I shall purify you! Here goes nothing!
sad.
To dust with Shockwave!
That was pretty badass.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike!
Protection again.
Protection! Heal! I must thank you. I shall purify you! Nothing! Heal! Heal! Shockwave! Withstand this! Say goodbye! Here goes nothing! I shall purify you! Withstand this! Shockwave! Not bad, not bad,
Not good.
Healing!
Let my HP get a little low there.
Healing!
Whew, okay. I'm concerned that at some point that is going to actually paralyze me, and that Nell is going to just get blown up.
Behold my godlike shockwave! Withstand this! Here goes nothing! Shockwave! Mirror strike! Withstand!
I do like that it saves where you had your thing on before. Cast protection.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike Here goes nothing!
I'm gonna get nice guard breaks.
Shockwave! Mirror strike!
I didn't wait for that.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike Shockwave! Mirror strike! Here goes nothing! I shall purify you!
I don't know why I did that.
Behold my godlike Shockwave! Behold
We're gonna cast the heal. We're gonna cast another protect. Unfortunately, she keeps knocking the boss over with her thing.
To die with you!
Stuttering's going on here. Don't have to worry too much. Oops. Oh, yeah, that is okay. For a second I thought I cast that on my own person, but as you can see, like, with the damage being taken by her MP, she's not going to be getting killed by that.
Withstand this! Shockwave!
But yeah, I'm just being really paranoid when it comes to protect because I don't know how common I have to, because of the fact that she can just get one shot, right? It's like, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
To dust with you!
Okay, so that's gonna be...
Angel feather! Healing!
And And you can normally get out of this stone rain. I think that Maria can't actually get out of it because she's too slow, but I could be wrong.
Say goodbye. To dust with you! I shall purify you!
I'm pretty sure that 2 iterations is excessively defensive. What we do need... Keep the healing coming out. So we're looking to deal a total of 10 million damage. I'd say that each time I do this, it's probably about 100,000. So I probably have to do that about 100 times total to kill her off.
To dust with you!
That would be my guess. Which is not actually that bad. Oops.
I shall purify you! Behold my...
So...
Withstand this! To dust with you!
Cast to protect quick, and then once we finish the protect, we cast healing. She is pretty juggleable, actually, which is kind of surprising
I
to me.
shall purify you! Behold my godlike... To dust with you!
I'm gonna go ahead and cast an Angel Feather because we might as well.
Angel Feather! Shockwave! Withstand this! Shockwave! Goodbye!
I guess I could actually be casting other shit in the middle of this stuff. Yeah, getting the nice high combo mirror slice off.
I shall purify.
Unfortunately,
Behold my godlike.
if you interrupt the animation of a spell, you actually give the enemy more attacks. Because, well, not if you interrupt the animation while the spell is going off, but they haven't actually stopped doing the animation yet, then it is going to give them the ability to just do whatever they want. Because usually they just sit there while the spell is going off. Unfortunately, she's getting a little close for comfort to this side of the map. I'm actually gonna pull her back over this way. another protection, and then we're gonna need another gun. That actually hits quite hard. The Stone Rain does not hit hard, but the Lightning Strike hits pretty damn hard. So I wonder actually if Mirror Slice is better DPS overall than Shockwave. Shockwave is very fast, in fact. But yeah, I think that the Mirror Slice is higher damage move. I don't know exactly how much damage the other one would be doing if I was spamming the shit out of it.
Shockwave! Withstand it! Goodbye! Here goes nothing! To done with you! Healer! Protect
Yeah, I think we should actually be able to do this here. And it just gives you an idea of the potency of defense build when you can actually just negate their damage completely. So defense is a very interesting stat because depending on the game, it'll either be highly valuable or just completely useless. And a lot of times it actually varies depending on like where you are in the game, right? Like for certain encounters, for certain things, defense is very powerful. For others, it's just damn near useless. So
Here goes nothing! Withstand this! Shock mirror! Here goes nothing! Shock mirror strike! Healer!
and we actually interrupted her out of the other strike.
Withstand this! I shall purify you! Behold my godlike power! I shall purify you!
No, there fell.
Protected! Shockwave!
No.
Say...
That's
Withstand this! Withstand this! Mirror strike! Healer! I shall purify you! Behold my godlike power!
so we should be.
Protected!
I think we should be finishing.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike power! Here goes nothing! I shall purify you! Behold my godlike power! Behold my God! Here goes nothing!
I'm gonna pull her back in the corner.
Stand this! Shockwave! Withstand this! Withstand this! Here goes nothing!
It might be fun to try a like solo this at some point.
Mirror strike!
Because
Protection!
conceptually, most of this stuff you can interrupt.
I shall purify you! Behold my godlike I shall purify you! Behold my godlike
I guess I should have.
Withstand this! Mirror strike!
That's another protection.
Here goes nothing! I shall purify you! Behold my godlike I shall purify you! Behold my godlike Shock mirror strike!
Yep.
Here goes nothing!
No going after the supports. Yeah.
Shock mirror strike! Here goes nothing! Shockwave! Shockwave mirror strike! Protection! Behold my godlike Shockwave mirror strike! Behold!
I love how both effects are going out at the same time. So you've got like the competing badass ultimates.
Shock mirror strike! Withstand this! Mirror strike! Here goes nothing! Behold my godlike Shock mirror strike! Here goes nothing! I shall purify you! Behold my godlike Withstand this! Here goes nothing! Here! Withstand this! Mirror strike! No!
Oh, there we go.
Cannot be! Here goes nothing!
Nailed it. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's Freya done. Freya's defeated. Mission successful. And we can see what happens. I legit have no idea. If you have that power, then building the new realm of Valhalla is not just a dream. I shall never give up. The orb wasn't destroyed. I wonder if we can make that kid appear as many times as we want. Make that kid appear as many times as we want. So, we just beat Freya, which is pretty badass. And that is the final challenge that we have in this game. So, there's obviously a ton of achievements that you can get fighting her in a variety of different ways and things like that. Yeah, there's actually an achievement for beating her within 20 minutes, I think. So it gives you an idea of the sort of time frame that you're kind of expected to handle it in. If I had a full defensive setup on Maria, and she could just cast protection on herself, I could burn her down way faster. I don't know if Maria can get... I guess almost definitely with both protect and the other effect, she should be able to get high enough. So I could probably burn the boss down substantially faster if Maria was tanky enough for it, but it's much harder to get her to be that tanky. I guess it's not really that much harder. It's pretty much just about the same thing. But anyway, so that's going to be it for right now. The problem is that this has only been an hour. It's still dark out. I can't get breakfast yet. So I think I'm going to start up the next game in just a few minutes. Unfortunately, I didn't pre-download it because I'm like, oh, you know, I'll take a break and then I'll do, you know, other stuff. Let's take a look. I don't think that we've got enough to get access to, and we have not. But that's okay. So I guess we're going to take a look and just see how many battle trophies we actually have right now. I don't know how to... I don't know if there's a soft reset for this. Do we need to die? Yeah. I guess I'll worry about that later. So anyway, that's going to be it for right now, and I will get started on the next download, and then we will start up Star Ocean 4 as soon as I can. So thank you everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure to stream for you today, and I hope that fight was enjoyable to watch, even if it was a little bit longer than the typical fight that I've been doing so far. So, later folks.